It's really backwards in the fact that a seller kind of takes a look at the comparables, puts a price on their home, an agent markets it, and then prospective buyers come and walk through. They look at the house, they look at the condition, and they start assigning their own value to it based on what they see as they walk through. For example, they might see an old water heater, they might look at the roof and see that it's stained, or some shingles are missing, or they might just make some assumptions that if the house isn't cosmetically current, that it may also mechanically not be current. So buyers kind of take a guess at what they think the value is, and then they deduct amounts for what they think they're going to have to fix or do in the future. And to me, that's all broken. See, when they go to write their offer, they've got to do a bunch of guesses. What's the house really worth to them? What type of repairs are they going to do in the future? When does the seller want to close? What inspections should they do? How much deposit money should they put down? And so they're kind of guessing at what they need to do to get their offer accepted. Then the seller gets the offer and they look at the offer and then they go, well, I don't want to close then, that's too soon, we've got a graduation party. Or, you know what, we just put a new roof on and, you know, I'm not sure where they're coming up with these prices. So then they kind of have this back and forth and they come to terms on a price and the conditions of the offer, such as what inspections they're going to do, deposit monies and things like that. They go back and forth and finally the contract gets signed. And in a typical market, what happens next is the buyer does their due diligence. They have their home inspections done. And the home inspector's job is to help uncover things that aren't right. And they come back with this checklist, you know, this isn't right and that's not right. And of course, every home, even new construction, always has a list of things that aren't right. Then the buyer gets a little discouraged and frustrated because what was their dream home and they were so excited about 10 days ago is now a home that has a list of problems. And then they feel like they want to renegotiate the price or renegotiate repairs. The seller gets the list from the buyer and the seller goes, wait a minute, I've lived in this house this way and it's never been a problem for me. It's always worked right. You know, the heater's, you know, there's no problem with it. Sure, it's 15 years old, but there's nothing wrong, it works. And then we have this kind of renegotiation and this frustration and anxiety where everybody goes, what do I do? And eventually you come to terms. And then you sit and wait and either lower the price, get repairs done, and then you eventually have an appraisal done, and sometime later you go to closing. And it's riddled with anxiety and disappointment and frustration. Even in the best terms, there's always some level of disappointment. So I've thrown all that out. I've said, let's get away from being reactive and let's get smart and let's start doing things proactively. And therefore we created the Smart Sale. And the Smart Sale is kind of our proprietary way of helping buyers and sellers to navigate the home sale process more efficiently, more transparently, and easier, less hassle. So what we do as a listing agent and what our job is to help prepare all the due diligence that a buyer typically does after they go under contract, and we give it to them before they write an offer so they can write a fully informed offer. So this is what we do. When a seller contracts with us, when they list with the Matt Fetick team, we're going to arrange to have the home inspected, a property inspection, septic inspection if they have on-site septic, well, termite, radon. We're going to get all that information together. And then once we have all that information, we're going to put together a marketing kit. And our marketing kit's going to show, this is the list price. Here's the comparables that we think this house is similar to. Here is a home inspection done by a third party, and it tells you about the condition of the house. We then put on a cover letter, and our cover letter is designed to make the contract negotiations as smooth as possible. We tell a prospective buyer, you can write an offer however you want, but here's the preferred terms of the seller. This is the date they'd like to settle on. This is how much money they want for deposit money. You can do your own inspections. However, we have already provided you with enough information that anything you find out that's different from this, sure, we can talk about it, but we're not going to renegotiate a price or repairs because you've already been put on notice that these issues exist. Once you know that, you should make an offer based on all this information. See, typically in traditional real estate, buyers make offers on a guess. You know, they're hoping that they understand the age of the roof and all those other things. Instead, we take away the guess. We say make an offer that's fully informed. You have all the information that you need. The date the seller wants to close, how much they want for deposit money. You know the condition of the house. So now you make a fully informed offer. All you've got to do, all a buyer has to do when using our Smart Sale program, all a buyer has to do is this: focus on the value to them, understanding the comparables and the condition. Once they've got that down, all they got to do is focus on price. We've already told them everything else, and it's either acceptable or it's not, so don't write the offer. Then a seller gets a really informed offer, and their informed offer has the dates and the times and the conditions that they've already asked for, and the only thing we're negotiating is price. Do you see how much more simple that is? It's one thing to focus on, which is the price, right? The seller has a value based on the condition that's in their mind. The buyer has a value based on the condition in their mind. We figure it out together, and then we move on. Now, some buyers will want to do their own home inspection, so that still happens. No problem. That's fine. We encourage that. Do as much due diligence as you want. However, if one of our sellers using our Smart Sale program are not going to renegotiate on anything that was already disclosed. That way, we take away all the gray areas, and we only focus on price. And if you want to do your own inspections, then anything that is uncovered that we didn't know ahead of time. See, it makes it much more smoother. It makes it easier for everybody else. And that's why our Smart Sale is the better way to sell real estate today.